to gate 57, which is gentle, and the gate of intuitive clarity. It is part of individual circuitry, both integration and knowing, and it connects up with the sacral gate 34, identity gate 10, and throat gate 20.
57 is so busy. It connects all the integration gates. They all connect with each other. It's the only spot where that really happens. And so this gentle, how did the Chinese describe it? The way the cool breeze, gentle as it may be, can still chill you to the bone in short order, right? So a cool day, a cool breeze that gets to the very core of things. The reason they call it the gentle is because it's not a motor. Even though it points towards a motor in one of its aspects, it itself is not. It's just the awareness of tomorrow. If 44 is the past, which it is, and it's fears of the past, primordially the biggest, the extinction of the past, but mostly just the past. 57 is just about tomorrow. And so put it into its frequency. Frequency is moment to moment only, not over all of time, ever, just now. And it's in a stream of awareness that's about intuition. So this is the great gate of intuition. In fact, this is our primary survival gate. This was the first one of integration that made us survive because it knows what for. It can speak to 34. 34 says, I have power. And 57 says, yeah, this is how it's used. 10 is not aware. It's like, this is my behavior. And 57 gives meaning to that. Same thing with right now. And when 57 is connected to gate 20 right now, its big fear is tomorrow. And it can't live in that fear, because what it's really supposed to do is not just basically try and stay up all night to avoid tomorrow. It's not supposed to do anything other than recognize it's not the guarantee of, but it's the potential for extraordinary, listen to the word, extraordinary intuitive clarity in the now, in an individual pulse that's yours first. And I point out certain mystical things about 57. 57 is the gate that you're looking at a flat wall and you see the paint on the wall, and that's it. Your vision stops there. 57 can see an inch or two beyond that wall, potentially through its intuition that, like the gentle breeze, penetrated the wall to its core, maybe to the other side. How'd you know that guy was there? I had a feeling. How'd you know you weren't supposed to go there? I knew it. This is, all the gates that say I knew it, this one says it loud. Same thing with knowing things, or even, you can see beyond the pale a little bit. It can see it. Listen, right now is what I know. I can't really see into the future. It's not that 57 sees the future. It's 57 has the extraordinary potential to have a moment of clarity about the future, or the immediate future, or even the long-term future. Doesn't mean it's right. Again, but in the knowing circuit, so its voice will sound like I know, but it doesn't mean that it's right. It just means that potentially it's like, dude, how'd you know that was going to happen? I don't know. I had a feeling. And talk about that spleen. That spleen gives us a hit. The sacral gives us a hit that says, it's a response, and suddenly we're in motion. The spleen's hit is quite different, isn't it? It's a splenic survival, awareness, safety, health, values hit, but it's only now, and if you don't listen to it, it'll sort of scoot by and maybe come back later, but mostly it's only right now. So sometimes 57 has the extraordinary clarity to push away the dust that is clouding our right now and see into the future. I don't have a crystal ball. Every once in a while I have extraordinary clarity into the future.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't mean I'm right, but when it comes true, the little thing nugget that I saw, boy, is that vindication.
It's interesting also because 57, the trigrams are wind over wind, and wind is that subtle, far-reaching influence.
That's subtle. Subtle is the right word. Yeah. It's gentle. If you think you're taking 57 to the racetrack, think again. or the blackjack table. It's not going to happen that way. That's not what this does. This just has the extraordinary potential. And the only way you get to have it and see it is to be aware that your spleen speaks moment to moment softly, and to take that quote splenic hit and start to work with yourself in a way that becomes aware of what that really is inside you. Every spleen person that wakes up knows what that splenic hit is. They start to see it. They learn to trust it.
It's like a gentle breeze.
The potential and the gift of extraordinary clarity, extraordinary intuitive clarity, intuition that has no logic. There's no logic to why that works.
And it's interesting also how important 57 must be. It's very subtle, but again, that far reaching, because it's linking up with 3 different gates. Like,
yeah,
that's interesting.
Yep. Well, let's keynote those gates real quick. I am now, gate 20. Gate 10 is, I love me right now. That's cool. And or my behavior now, and or I act out now. 34 says, I empower now. And 57 says, my power is used for the purpose of what I became aware of that dictates my behavior right now. So 57 is, I know I am busy for myself right now. That's the full keynoting of that. 34, busy. 10, myself. 20, I. And so what for? And then 57 is, I know. It very much is, I know I am busy for myself right now, working for 28's purpose, by the way. 57 serves 28. 28's too stubborn to even notice 57, basically. I mean, that's, you put people together, you'll find out that channel of struggle isn't noticing things the same way that channel of the brainwave is. That 5720, it's just not. So 57 then suddenly has to yield to 20 because 20 is fighting for the purpose. So 57's overall voice would be, I know I am busy for myself right now. And I know I have some duties I have to perform now for gate 28 because it won't let me alone. I'm going to have to teach it this human design system. I'm going to have to go help them dig that hole. I'm going to have to, whatever it is.
It's so interesting, especially in relation to gate 57, because it's like the I Ching, it's touching on an absolute truth. So it's like we have this foundation of this absolute truth just exists. And then this intuitive clarity, this awareness to be able to go, hey, that's there. It's like gravity. Like it just exists. And then someone was like, hey, this is an actual force of nature. I kind of feel it's like that, where it's like, it's this foundational thing. What's really cool is that someone is able to like peer underneath the curtain to develop it into this whole system, but it speaks to the program, the absolute truth that's underlying all of it.
Something is so special about mankind, generally speaking, humanity as a whole. There's something ordained inside of it. There's some special nugget that I've yet to. It's the life force. It's plenty of things, but there is something very special inside of all of it, because I do notice that humans keep getting downloads. Ra did not invent this information. He was given it over the course of 8 days by a force he called the voice. Now, today we would call, I would just call that download. I don't know. They would have called it an act of God back then, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And maybe they call it an act of God now even, but point being, they couldn't have known all the thing that it would do. They did not know to say the word genetic codon, and that we have 54 of them constantly sewing us up in our chemistry day in and day out. They couldn't have known any of that. I do know one thing, the I Ching, and tell me if this is true, Troy, that the I Ching itself would say, these are your ways. And so the master would try and teach the student the ways, and the student would say, but master, what ways am I? And so he couldn't tell. Couldn't necessarily say, well, you're this way, this way, this way, this way. So there's no way they could have put all of this together. They just like, these are the 64 ways, and so you are some of these ways. Probably some of the teachings of the I Ching mistakenly informed people, you have to be all 64 ways. You better get a command of all of it, and you're not a Shaolin priest until you have it all or something. I bet you some people did that. I went crazy.